Awesome. Okay, so today's webinar, I'm actually going to focus on skin issues in both dogs and cats. I will do a brief overview of Myco Pet and myself, but then we're going to get into the nitty-gritties on skin issues. So Myco Pet, Myco, of course, is the short form for mycology, which is the study of fungi. And here at Myco Pet, we target all things with mushroom wellness because mushrooms are nature's first and original form of medicine. They were around before plants and animals, and therefore they've actually come in contact with all competing organisms and therefore have developed different metabolites and enzymatic pathways in order to defend themselves and essentially survive. So they've come in contact with everything and have developed those awesome medicinal pathways. So I myself, I have my Master's of Science degree from the University of Waterloo. I started off at Western University for a Bachelor in Health Science, and both of my parents are veterinarians. Now, the reason why I started Myco Pet was because my own dog had issues with allergies and yeast infections, and I tried all the different supplements, diets, topicals, and medications, and really got nowhere. It often just cost me an arm and a leg, and my dog ended up having a lot of side effects too. So with my background in health science, as well as the support of both of my parents as veterinarians, we determined that, you know what, we have the resources and the knowledge to figure out what's actually going on at the root cause of these problems and to develop something that actually focused on that root cause, healing from the inside out. And that's how Myco Pet was born. So as you guys know, this is our product lineup. We did actually just launch 3 new products this week. You'll see our social media posts as well as our emails going out. We launched urinary, probiotics, 3P, and turkey tail. But the other ones you guys already know: gut and immunity, joint and mobility, focus and calm, lean mass, puppy kitten, and protect. You guys also get these flyers in every order. If you are low on stock, please let me know or let your distributor know. These I find are like the #1 selling feature that you can use in store. I often find the customer flow through is when they first come in contact with Myco Pet as a new company, they want to do a little bit more research. This they'll take home, they'll read up on it, and then they'll come back to the store and pick it up. This also allows them, if say you or your team don't have the capacity, or like someone's not available to talk about the products with the customer, this allows the customer to figure out what product is going to be best for them at that moment. Just a high-level overview about the quality of our products. Everything is human grade. I actually take the products myself. Many other people do too. The reason behind this philosophy is that, you know, why would you give something to your pet that you wouldn't take yourself? So everything is human grade. We also make sure everything is non-GMO. It's organic and natural. We don't add any artificial ingredients or sweeteners, fillers, or preservatives, because we know through research and experience that these ingredients interact negatively with the body and especially with the gut microbiome and therefore the immune system. Okay, so now getting into the nitty-gritties on the topic that we're going to be talking about today, which is itchy or skin issues in both dogs and cats. We're going to look at common skin conditions. Then we'll explore the gut-skin axis. Then we'll also look at preventative and therapeutic strategies and learn how functional ingredients can actually support skin health. So the prevalence of skin issues is quite high in both dogs and cats. And we'll actually see in the next slide that it becomes the most common reason they go to the vet is actually a gut microbiome issue. But at the skin level of things, dogs go to vets on average or not on average, but typically 25% of vet visits for dogs is related to skin issues, 15% with cats. The symptoms that your clients are going to be seeing or complaining to you about are itching, redness, hot spots, hair loss. They're chronically sick. chronic ear infections, tear staining. You'll also see anal gland impaction, stinky body, stinky breath, things like that. Now, the toll of this is multifactorial. So obviously the pet owner is going to be distressed. I have people calling me, they're like, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on my pet. I feel like I'm failing them, right? Like pets these days, they're not just an animal, they're part of the family. I was even just talking to a friend of mine who lost their dog about a year ago, where we literally just started the conversation and he started crying. Like these are relationships that are family. It's not just an animal. And so the emotional toll when they're suffering, just like a kid, is quite severe. And like I said, financial is also pretty big. I had a client tell me that they spent $29,000 on allergies for their dog in 1 year. Pretty outstanding. So the top 3 reasons for vet visits are skin conditions, ear infections, and GI issues for dogs. For cats, it's UTIs, dental disease, and skin conditions. All of these conditions are actually rooted within the gut microbiome. And we're going to see why that is coming up. So common skin conditions that you guys are going to see in your clients coming into the stores are atopic dermatitis, food sensitivities, ear infections, that crusty elephant skin on the nose, tear staining, and allergic reactions, and even dandruff. Out of, maybe if you guys can pop in the chat, what % would you say of your customers are coming into you complaining of these issues?
I typically say about half of mine.
50%, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And we're tackling that in multiple different ways through food, supplements, topicals, you name it. So yeah, some conventional treatments when people go to the veterinarian for these issues, they're prescribing antihistamines like Benadryl, antibiotics, that's probably the most common. Then they go to immunosuppressants like Apoquil. Steroids such as prednisone is super common. Then we're also seeing injections like Cytopoint. And finally, prescription diets. I see a lot of Royal Canin, sensitive gut, or allergy, or I see a lot of urinary too, those diets. Now, the limitations of these, of course, I'm sure you guys already know, but they're very expensive. You know, a typical injection of Cytopoint is $400. Apoquil, you're doing $1 to a couple $100 per month for those pills. The diets are pretty expensive too. Yeah, very, very expensive monetarily, but then you're also having all of those side effects. You know, medications are always difficult on the liver and kidney since those are the organs that metabolize through those drugs. And then with immunosuppressants, I mean, suppressing the immune system. So you end up having a higher risk of infection. And even in the studies that the companies that make, say, Apoquil have done, they do show a higher risk and incidence of cancer. So those are important things that customers should know about the medications that they are using. But unfortunately, most often they're never actually told about those side effects. Okay, the gut-skin axis. So this is a concept that describes how the gut health influences skin health. And the gut and the skin are like intimately tied. You'll even see in people when our guts are out of balance, they'll get psoriasis or eczema on the skin or just unexplained rashes. You know, you go to the dermatologist and they're like, I don't know. It's just you have a rash. They can never figure out what's going on. It's almost always rooted within the gut microbiome though. So what happens is you have a gut dysbiosis, which is where the gut microbiome is not in a good balance between the good and the bad bacteria. This will cause leaky gut syndrome, which is where the tight junctions within the intestinal cell wall become really wide and allow food and bacteria to actually pass through it into the body. And that ends up causing a lot of inflammation, which then stimulates the immune system. And then you just have systemic inflammation. So your body's just under distress all the time and everywhere, which is very, very bad. And then this often comes out on the skin. So you're seeing dryness, redness, rashes, and irritation. So other outward signs of a gut imbalance not only come on the skin, but also show up in digestive problems like they're eating grass. Also poop. I actually had, funny enough, I had a client who was using the gut and immunity and the dog started eating its own poop. So she's like, oh my God, this is so gross. And she returned the product. I'm like, no. I'm like, this is actually a sign that your dog needs more probiotics. So at this point, you actually should be increasing the dosage of the product of gut and immunity. Because in feces, whether it's their own or a rabbit or something they find, it has good probiotics in it. In humans, we actually see fecal transplants to support people's gut microbiome. If you don't know what a fecal transplant is, that's where they take healthy poop from someone and put it in you. You'll also see recurring ear infections, regardless of however many antibiotics or drops you use. Behavioral changes, so just like you or me, when our gut is upset, like I get cranky, I get more irritable. It's the exact same with our animals. Immune sensitivity, so I see a lot of people, like people will send me their allergy testing that they got done, and it'll be like, they're just allergic to the world. They're allergic to this protein, that protein, grass, like everything under the sun. And that's literally just the immune system is reacting to everything because the gut microbiome is out of balance. So 70 to 80% of the immune system lies within the gut microbiome. So that's why the gut is so important for immunity. You also see like getting sick more often. And again, that's because the gut microbiome and the immune system. Other ones that we've already covered, stinky breath, stinky pet, anal gland impaction. I can explain this one a little bit better. So anal gland impaction is essentially when the duct from the anal gland itself gets clogged. Well, just like a pimple is getting clogged because the immune system is not doing a good enough job pushing out not like bacteria, pathogens, dirt, debris, whatever. It's just getting clogged. So that is, again, a function of the immune system and of gut imbalance. Some holistic strategies that support skin health, which you guys are already doing, is diet, right? We pretty much always, I think you guys are always looking to get them onto a better diet, something that is more natural, less preservatives, less artificial ingredients, non-GMO organic. Here we're a proponent of raw and as close to raw as possible since it's the most unadulterated and it doesn't have all of those extra ingredients that end up causing issues in the body. So now coming back to Myco Pet, we use functional ingredients like mushrooms, colostrum, and probiotics to support the gut microbiome. And mushrooms are also adaptogens. One possible trigger that people often don't look at is water. So anecdotally, my dog won't actually drink the water here in Niagara Falls out of the tap. I have to filter it for her. And even myself, if I drink the water straight out of the tap here, I'll get sick. So there's something in the water here. I don't know what it is, but my dog knows, or her nose knows at least. And so look for contaminated water, whether it's with heavy metals, bacteria, too much chlorine. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's going to be one of those things. So the first functional ingredient that we use in our supplements is pre, pro, and postbiotics. So prebiotics are the non-digestible fiber that the probiotics eat. So it's the food for the good gut bacteria. And just like any living organism, we need food in order to survive. So, for example, with Fortiflora, Purina Fortiflora probiotic, it's just a straight probiotic. They don't have prebiotics in there. So that's why their probiotics don't last as long in the gut microbiome. So it's like a one and done. You get a little bit of an effect, but you're not actually supporting the colonization in the body. We do. Then we use probiotics, of course. Probiotics are those beneficial bacteria that not only help to digest food, but also produce hormones and vitamins like vitamin K and serotonin. So very, very important for the body. In our formulas, we actually use 18 different species of probiotics, which is the most available on the market. And we now know that diversity of probiotics is more important than total quantity of CFU. Like I said before, you can feed those probiotics with the prebiotics and make them grow even more. So even better. And lastly, postbiotics. Postbiotics are the metabolic enzymes or digestive enzymes that probiotics produce. So when you're looking at hydrolyzed protein kibble, essentially what they've done is they've run the proteins through digestive enzymes or through postbiotics and already broken them down to smaller components. It's the same thing, it's just postbiotics are naturally in your body and you should make your body do what it's supposed to do or you'll lose that function. It's the use it or lose it principle. Oops, anyway. Okay, the next functional ingredients that we use is, of course, mushrooms. So mushrooms have incredible medicinal power. We use 5 main mushrooms in our supplements, including turkey tail, which is most known for its cancer fighting capacity. And that's through, you'll see here, PSK and PSP. These are 2 compounds found in turkey tail. You can find lots of research articles, especially from Japan, where they use turkey tail mushroom as an adjunct to typical cancer treatments. And they're showing like increased longevity and survivability and quality of life in those patients. We also use lion's mane, which is typically or most well known as the brain or the cognitive mushroom. Interestingly enough, a lot of people don't know this, but those compounds that help with brain support and nervous system support are found, one is found in the fruiting body, so in this nice little mushroom here, but the other one is found in the mycelium, and you need both. So what's special about our mushroom supplements is that we use both the fruiting body, the mushroom itself, and the vegetative body or the mycelium. That means you're getting all the medicinal compounds that are contained within that fungal species. I don't actually know any other company that does that. Most others just use fruiting body. And you'll get the pushback. They're like, oh, well, mycelium is just a filler because it's grown on sorghum or some other grow medium. But that's not true. That's a marketing ploy. What happens is the mycelium is grown on sorghum or another grain, but it fully digests it and it becomes it. You know, it's the saying, you are what you eat. So I eat an apple. I'm not like, it's now me. I'm like, the apple's not there. You know what I mean? So that was just a marketing ploy in order to make people think that the mycelium does not contain any beneficial compounds, but in fact it does. Reishi mushroom is known as the fountain of youth. It's pretty much good for everything. This is a really good one, just an overall general health and wellness mushroom. I really like it for blood glucose and blood pressure control. Excuse me. Chaga mushroom is like a black and gold mushroom, and this one has the highest amount of antioxidants. You know how people say, eat your blueberries for your antioxidants? Well, they actually have a scale that scores different foods on how many antioxidants they have. On the scale, Blueberries score at about 5,000, whereas chaga scores about 120,000. So over 20 times more. And lastly, we use cordyceps mushroom. This is the zombie mushroom. But this one is well known for its energy support. It actually helps to create the energy molecule in our bodies called ATP. So if you have a more of a sluggish dog, or maybe you have a competitive dog in agility, this is the mushroom you want to use. The last functional ingredient is bovine colostrum. Now, if you don't know, colostrum is the first about 72 hours of milk production after giving birth. And it has tons of immunoglobulins, which are good for the immune system, lots of vitamins and minerals, protein, healthy fats, probiotics, and other bioactive proteins. It also has growth factors, which is really cool. So if you have an injury, or actually one of the common issues I'm hearing from customers is heart murmurs, even in like very, very young animals. And this means that their development is not going very well. So an increase in colostrum, or giving them some colostrum, is going to help to grow that tissue, whether it's organ, muscle, tendon, ligament, cartilage, you name it, it'll help to support that. It's also incredible for the immune system and the gut microbiome. There's been studies showing that it helps to heal leaky gut syndrome. Okay, so now continuing to focus on itchy pets or skin issues in pets, we have a protocol called Itchy Pet Protocol Essentials. We also have a max, which adds in the lean mass, but we're going to look at the essential today, which is gut and immunity supplement and the Protect spray. This is an inside and outside protocol. So the gut and immunity is your root cause, where it's focusing on the gut microbiome, and the Protect spray is your external support, helping with symptom relief while the gut and immunity is doing the dirty work inside. So the gut and immunity supplement has those 5 key mushrooms that we just went over. It also has pre, pro, and postbiotics and colostrum. This is going to work to modulate the immune system so it's not so reactive to everything. It's also going to help to get rid of the excess yeast that's in the system. Your body needs yeast in order to ferment different foods and do other functions in digestion, but too much is when you're starting to get ear infections, paw licking, and hot spots. This is our comparison chart, which you guys all get in the product catalog that we send out. If you can't find it, let me know. I'll send you another copy. But this shows you how our supplement is different than other companies that have similar claims to us. So we did already look at Fortiflora here. Another one that's pretty popular is Pet Lab Co. They're using 3 probiotics. A lot of people are coming, they're like, it didn't do anything. Often that can also be because it's in a chew. Now in chews, you have to add an extra ingredient in order to congeal it. But that extra ingredient is causing more disruption. So it's going against what you're trying to do. That's why we do powders. That way we don't have to add any extra or inactive ingredients. Everything is active in our blends. A little cost comparison. So especially right now with your customers, everybody's kind of squeezing their pennies and they want to make sure their money goes as far as possible. So our supplements can replace multiple different supplements or products that they're using right now, right? Because it's a pre, pro, and postbiotic, has the mushrooms in there and colostrum. You don't need to go to the vet or to the groomer to get their anal glands expressed. And you're going to be able to almost always eliminate the allergy drugs that they're using, which is hundreds of dollars per month. Onto the Protect Cleaner. So our Protect Cleaner uses a compound called hypochlorous acid. Now, when I talk to customers, I often leave out the word acid because they're like, oh my God, it's going to sting, it's going to hurt, that's so crazy. It's not, it's a very weak acid. And it's actually produced within the white blood cells of all animals with a spine. So what it does in the body is it's used to kill pathogens, so like bacteria, viruses, and fungi, and it also accelerates wound healing. So in our case studies that we've had with customers, they're showing wound full recovery within 2 days, where it would usually take 2 weeks. I have one of my team members here, her daughter, she calls it magic water. She gets a little bit of psoriasis, gets itchy, they spray it on her, and it's good. No more itchiness. Again, it is all human grade. And like I said, this compound is actually produced in all animals with a spine, humans included. Again, here's a comparison chart of our Protect spray. So in comparison to colloidal silver, which is definitely the most popular disinfectant used within the pet industry, colloidal silver is only 70 to 90% effective. It actually takes 5 to 10 minutes in order to get to that effectiveness level. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know anyone who leaves it wet for 5 to 10 minutes. There's just no way. It's not feasible. Whereas with our product, it only takes 1 to 3 minutes in order to get to 99.9% effectiveness. So much more doable, same price point, better product. Why wouldn't your customers use this one? So I just have 2 case studies here. This is Trevor. They actually came on Dragon's Den with me just about a year ago. He was one of my first customers. He licked his legs raw. He was always scooting his bum on the carpet. Very, very yeasty dog. So he went on the Itchy Pet protocol, and they actually saw results within 2 hours. Now Trevor loves the supplement so much that he will not eat his food without it. I do get questions like, oh, what about palatability? And because our serving sizes are so tiny, because we're not adding all that extra junk in the formulas, it's almost not even noticeable in their food. And animals have what's called nutritional wisdom. Nutritional wisdom is where they know what they need when they need it, and they can literally smell it. It's not like we go and tell our dogs, oh, you have an upset stomach? Go eat the grass. They just know. It's just instinctual. And it's the same with our supplements. I actually have a story where a customer, where their dog jumped up on the counter and ate the entire jar all at once. And she called me. She's like, 1, oh my God, is my dog going to have a negative reaction? And 2, oh my God, my dog just ate $55 worth of supplements all at once. So my answer was very unlikely that they're going to have a negative reaction. It's very odd that an animal would eat a dry powder. Like, it's not appetizing in that way. So the nose was telling the dog, hey, there's something in that I need right now, or I'm going to have a big problem. And then my other response to her, oh my gosh, you just ate all that money. I'm like, he probably just saved you thousands of dollars from going to the emergency vet. Case study number 2 is Harlow. She's a Cocker Spaniel. She actually also came on Dragon's Den with us. And her big thing was ear infections and tear staining. And she got full results within 1 week. She's actually pretty popular on Instagram. She has a pretty good following. You can check her out. And even her followers started to notice this incredible transformation. Here's just some other before and after photos. If you guys have ever seen us at a show, like an event, you'll see these on our banners. So just to reiterate, our supplements are all-in-ones rather than having to get multiple different supplements and then combining them together. So really good cost savings. And it's just easier for the customer at home. You know, you have 1 jar on the counter rather than 10. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I'd like to open it up for questions now. Any issues you guys have in store, anything like that?
Eleanor, I have a question. It's Donna.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, with the Protect product, like I know when we've used colloidal silver in the past, we can use it to flush eyes or any kind of an eye wound or irritation.
Yes.
Can we use that in the eye as well?
You can, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Nadia from Global Pet Foods 15 here. Sorry, I'm not
Hey,
on
Nadia.
video. Hi, just wondering about the harvesting of the colostrum. Does the company that you get it from use calf first practices?
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, so the calves always get as much colostrum as they need, then the company takes the excess.
Hooray!
Yes. Cool. Are you guys getting any particular objections in store that you're unable to answer or anything that's common?
I think some people just with the initial price point, like if they haven't tried everything and are already spending a ton of money, I think sometimes it's like not sticker shock, but they'll be like, well, what's the difference between probiotic 8 plus from omega alpha and you guys? Like why do I have to pay so much more for a small container? But I think then when you engage in the conversation, then it becomes clearer. And since all the staff are using it now, it's like a definite go-to.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do, I removed omega alpha from our comparison chart, just because I didn't find they were as popular as these other companies. But omega alpha 8, like that, they have 8 different probiotics in there. It is a less expensive product. Actually, I think it's like 80 something cents per serving. But you're not getting the other benefits of, say, 18 different probiotic species, the mushrooms, the colostrum, and the postbiotics. I think they have prebiotics in there. Don't quote me on it. But I do not believe that they have postbiotics. So we're still giving a better quality product, especially if someone's looking for a probiotic. We have the #1 probiotic on the market.
Eleanor, this is David here.
Yeah, Jade.
So you mentioned earlier that this is all recorded. I just didn't. I don't have many staff today. Actually, I don't have any staff today. So you said this was recorded. You'll be sending out emails with this, so I can show it to my staff later on.
Yes, we're gonna put it up on YouTube, and then I'll send you guys a link.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. Donna, just like you were asking whether you can use the spray in the eyes, you can also use it in the ears. I do get a lot of questions like, can it go down the ear canal? Yes, it can. That's no problem because it's naturally occurring within the body. The body knows how to use it to its best ability. Yeah, it's also lick safe. So that's no problem. What I just tell people is don't let your dog lick it for the 3 minutes. Let it do its work and then they can go to town. It doesn't matter. But I always like it best if people let it air dry. They don't need to wipe it off.
And there was mention that the Protect spray can be used in the eyes.
Yes, yes, it can. It can be used to flush out whatever's in the eyes. Whether you're getting green gunk or yeast, like the tear staining, that's a yeast infection. And so it can help to get rid of the yeast that's there, and then the gut and immunity would get rid of the yeast internally.
I typically advise customers to put the Protect on before they go for a walk because then the dogs are distracted and he doesn't want to lick it. That's what I do with my own dog as well.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That's a really good tip, actually.
Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. Well, does anybody else have any questions? Cool. Okay. Thank you guys so much for attending our very first webinar. We're going to be doing this once a month on the last Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. So we'll do different seminars coming up. So stay tuned. We'll be sending those out via email.
Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day and great weekend.
Thanks, Eleanor. Cheers.
Bye.